Hi, my name is Christian, and I kind of wanted to make a video or a channel where I could lay out my thoughts. And I don't really have anywhere else to put them. I mean, I could write them down, and I do sometimes, and I could talk to somebody, but I don't really feel like any of the people who are close to me would understand anything that I'm really talking about. But I want to tell like my story of what I would call a spiritual awakening. And it was just like an experience that completely changed the trajectory of my life. And maybe somebody could relate. This story starts out with like a weed addiction. Like I was very addicted to the like dab pens and the cartridges. I wasn't really before I was 21. Like I had smoked weed, a few times before, but it wasn't something that like I got addicted to. But when I turned 21, I was able to go to the dispensary and get it whenever I wanted to. But it turned into a really bad addiction to where I was smoking like a cart a day, and like a cartridge, a gram of synthetic weed, like way, 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 way too much, more than anyone should ever do. And I don't know. I, anyways, I decided I wanted to quit that addiction. I didn't want. I don't know what I was thinking, but I knew it obviously wasn't good for me, and so I stopped using it, and I couldn't sleep at all, like for 3 days, like 3 straight days. And when that happens, when you don't get sleep for a certain amount of time, your sense of grounding starts to go. Like, you don't feel safe at your own feet, if that makes any sense. It feels like everything's kind of scary. And eventually it turned into a thing where my mind was like, I literally accepted death. I thought I was gonna die because I just couldn't go to sleep. I couldn't get myself to go to sleep. I was scared to go to sleep, all this other stuff. It was just a really, really bad time. I ended up going to sleep for a little bit, and I woke up, and it was unlike anything I've ever felt in my life. It was like I felt like I knew everything all of a sudden, and it was so undescribable what was going on in my mind. It was just the highest possible frequency like a person can get to. And I don't think I've ever felt exactly like that ever since. But when that happened, I started to believe in God. I didn't believe in God before that because I grew up with like an atheist single mom. I didn't really have a conception of what God was, or like I guess my exact mindset was I don't understand how anyone could believe anything that strongly without proof. And looking back at that mindset, I think it's foolish now. But I actually wouldn't say foolish. I would say just ignorant. Like I didn't know any better. But the way I view the world now is like everything is too perfect for there not to be a God. Um, or a creator or something like that. How the universe works with everything and how it all, how nature needs every component for it to work and we all have a place. I liked what Cat Williams said about how in order to create this world and how perfect it is, you would need to create like animals for the humans, like a cow, and for that cow to be alive you would need to make it have a sophisticated digestion system, like 3 stomachs, for it to digest all the stuff that it eats. And very different from every other animal, and every animal thing, piece of nature has a place. And I just started to immediately understand stuff like that. Like all of a sudden I understood that the world runs on energy and vibration and frequency, and the frequency in which you listen to music matters a lot, like mathematically. And I started to notice that math and music are connected. Oh, okay. They're the same thing. Music is math because you're constructing it in a mathematical formula. Oh, well, isn't that pretty similar to language? How you're constructing a mathematical formula of wording? And I just noticed that every single thing is connected. Everything is connected, and the universe is all one. I don't know if I'm making any fucking sense. If anybody in the entire world is understanding a single thing that I'm talking about, I would really appreciate like a comment or something. Eventually that like feeling of high vibration and stuff, that came to an end because I went out drinking with my friends, and that was like a month after or something like that. But it immediately lowered my vibration a lot. I was really curious why I couldn't get that feeling back, so I literally got myself addicted to weed on purpose. And I came off of it to try and get that feeling again, but that's not how it works. I thought it was the weed that was doing that, but in retrospect, it was the struggle that I willingly went through to overcome something. And that's what gets you that high vibration. But I've learned a lot since then. I've learned a bunch of things since that moment when I was 21. I'm 24 now, so I guess this was like 3.5 years ago. And I've learned a lot about life since then, like how the universe works. And since then, I've come to more of an understanding of people and how they work. And I love everybody. because I just think of every human as my brother or sister or something like that. There's not really anything anyone can do to make me not feel love for them. And I think there are good souls and lost souls. I wouldn't say there are good and bad souls. I would say there are moral souls, good souls, and those who are lost. And there's a sea of delusion that we live in, where that's kind of the separation of consciousness between us humans, is how far into those delusions you go. The delusions form from being immoral. And when you start to see through that, you start seeing more of how the universe works. When I was in that high vibrational state, I finally saw through what a lot of people like to call the Matrix. That's what I called it at the time. Or the veil, or whatever you want to call it. When I had that experience, I was able to see the world or the universe for how it is, how it really is, the truth. If you seek the truth for long enough, you will get it. And it can be harsh, but it's beautiful. A lot of people compare the world we live in to a matrix, but I would compare it to more like The Giver. If you've ever seen the movie or read that book, I would say that the people in charge of humanity, our leaders, we don't know who they are, and they hide the truth. But the reason that I compare it to The Giver instead of The Matrix is because I think the holders of esoteric knowledge are holding the truth for good intention, not bad intention. Holding the truth, even with good intention, is still wrong. And that's why you see all this dismay and chaos, is because it's a constant battle between the truth and the veil or the illusion. It's a constant battle between the people who see through that and the people that don't. It all depends on what layer of consciousness you're at, or what vibration your soul is running at. A lot of people don't believe me when I say I love every single person, but it's the same as if I love myself, because we're all connected like that. I think that's all I have to say for now.